So today we're going to look at mouthing. I know it hurts and I feel your pain, but it is not forever, so just remember that. Every puppy is going to exhibit this behaviour at some point and it is completely normal. So don't be alarmed when you see this type of behaviour occurring. Mouthing tends to occur on the hands or the ankles, or puppies will get overexcited and start to nip and mouth at your clothing. So if you're wearing clothing that dangles down a lot, like dressing gowns or baggy jumpers, then puppies will tend to also go for these types of things, and that can increase the mouthing behaviours too. So we can't just stop mouthing in our puppies. What we can't do is just say, stop doing that, no, etc., and expect our puppies to just stop this behaviour altogether. It's going to happen. And what we need to do is learn better ways of managing that behaviour in the shorter term. Now, there are lots of triggers to mouthy type behaviours in our puppies. And as I said, it's a normal behaviour, but some puppies may exhibit more mouthing than others. And that can be due to lots of different factors. So what I'm going to do next is explain all of the triggers that may occur and may contribute to your puppy's mouthing. The first way that we can minimise mouthing is to avoid overhandling our puppy when they're in an aroused state. So I see this extremely often when our puppies are overexcited or over aroused and we overhandle them. So we start to touch them, stroke them, pick them up in those situations. And what usually happens is puppies will automatically go to mouthers. So what you guys need to do is work out the times that puppy does not tolerate handling and avoid overhandling them. It's simple. Stop over petting your puppies. I know they're lovely and they're super cute, but if that's causing your puppies to mouth you, then you guys need to change your behaviour instead, and that will ultimately help minimise the mouthy type behaviours. Of course, you can still handle and touch your puppy, but pick the times of day that your puppy is relaxed and they're in that mood to want that fuss and want that attention. So another reason that our puppies may be more mouthy than normal could be down to overstimulation or understimulation. So we could be overstimulating our puppy by doing too much with them. Equally, we could have an understimulated puppy where they're not getting enough. So what we need to make sure that we're doing is we are providing them with the adequate needs. So enrichment should form a big bulk of your puppy's day. So go back to the enrichment video on ideas for this, but I recommend that you are providing them with at least 2 to 3 types of enrichment a day. If you can hit 3, that would be brilliant. And in fact, more is better. You can never give your puppy too much enrichment. So physical exercise is also something really important to monitor. Every pup's individual, and unfortunately I can't stand here and tell you how much you're going to walk your puppy and how much toy play you should do, because it depends on their age. If you have a particular question, just give me a message and then I can answer that for you absolutely. Another reason that your puppies may show mouthy type behaviours is due to lack of sleep. Our puppies should be getting between 16 to 18 hours sleep a day. If they're not, then it's likely that the nipping and the mouthy type behaviours are potentially down to lack of sleep as well. So we do need to make sure we're encouraging lots of sleep in our puppies as well, and that may mean altering where your puppy's den area is, so making sure it's in a quiet location of the house, and again altering your routine, because if you're doing too much with your puppy and they're overstimulated, maybe they can't sleep. And lastly, remember, as I said before, mouthing is normal. Puppies are going to do this behaviour, so again, don't be alarmed. What I'm going to do next is just discuss how you can deal with the mouthing when it actually happens. But remember, go back to what's potentially triggering that mouthing, because you can help reduce it in the first place. So firstly, if you know there's any time of day particular that your puppy is going to be more mouthy than others, what I suggest you do is you prepare for this moment. So for example, a really common time of day that I see puppies exhibit more mouthy type behaviours, maybe incorporated with some hyperactivity and zooming around, is usually in the evenings when we want to settle down, and that's usually around 6 to 8 p.m. So if you notice this is happening in your puppy, what I suggest you do is make sure they've had all their needs met. So make sure they've had a nice walk, some small training session that isn't going to get them too aroused, but it could be something as simple as settle work or some trick training. And then what you can do is you can finish this by giving them some enrichment. So save some enrichment for this time of the day. And this would be useful to use something that lasts long. So, you know, a lick mat, a Kong or a chew would be quite useful in this situation. What I tend to see very often is that puppies exhibit these behaviours in the evenings, for example, and then we start to engage with them. So we start to go, no, get off, we push them away, or we start to engage with them in a toy game. And before you know it, it becomes a habit for your puppy. And they start to learn that in the evening, when you settle down, it's time for them to get really lively. So you can set them up to succeed by preempting this, as I've just discussed, and this will prevent this behaviour continuing into adulthood. So what can we do with how puppies do mouth us? Because again, it's still going to happen. So puppies learn through consequences of behaviour. So we can teach them that the consequence of mouthing us is that nothing happens. There is absolutely no outcome. So when your puppies do go to mouth you, you need to immediately move your hands out of the way and walk away from your puppy. Now you can redirect your puppy's behaviour onto something more appropriate. So it might be a toy or some enrichment item if they keep coming back towards you. So the generic advice on the internet would usually be redirect your puppy's mouthing onto a toy. And absolutely, we want to redirect them onto something else, but do bear in mind, go back to all of those triggers that I've said. I know I keep banging on about it, but go back to what might be causing the mouthing in the first place, because just shoving a toy in your puppy's mouth, if we've over-aroused them and over-handled them, isn't going to work. So you need to deal with what potentially could have caused it in the first place if it's not working. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, and if you're wanting more tips on all things puppy and how to train your puppy, then don't forget to subscribe, because there's lots more videos coming out over the upcoming months.